Take me down to Paradise City where the shat is fat and the trek is shitty.
Okay, nice.
I'm so proud of that. This is the Science Fiction Rating System podcast.
You've done another couple of lines.
Yeah, well, I wasn't that into it.
Yeah.
I'll just loop that a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The podcast that aims to rank every science fiction film from 1 to infinity. My name's Sam Draper, Songsmith, and I'm joined by Chris Redding.
Hello.
And Alex Humphrey.
Hey there. More Trek.
How is everyone today?
Let's
Good.
go climb a
Yeah.
rock. Whatever it is.
We're a bit like Spock, McCoy, and Shatner, aren't we?
Who would you be? No, you've got to choose somebody else's.
Oh, who would be who?
This won't work, will it? Because we'll run out of people.
Who's the logical one out of the three of us? Because that's Spock, isn't it?
I think Chris is Spock because he likes all the getting stuff technically right.
Okay.
You're McCoy because you're older than us.
Thanks.
Don't be Shatner.
I'm all right with. To be honest, I'm all right with McCoy. I didn't want to be Kirk.
and I'm Kirk because I'm a bit of a twat.
God damn it, Jim. No, I'm all right with that actually. Yeah, that's okay. I'm all right with that. Yeah.
I mean, really, no one comes out of it ahead, do they? Because the three of them are Pratts, aren't they?
By this
Especially
point.
Nimoy's all right.
Not in this film, he's not.
Not in this film, he's not.
So anyway, this week
I think he's just keeping his head down in this one.
Yeah. This week we're taking our 5th trip to the Star Trek universe. For Star Trek V: The Final Frontier. So our history with Star Trek, we watched motion picture. Kind of alright about that. We're really into it. Star Trek 2. Loved it.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
3.
Incredible.
3.
Not bad. I thought it was all right.
Wonky.
4.
4. Really good.
Not as good as remember,
More
but
wonky.
good. Yeah.
Pretty good.
So now we get to 5.
5. We have to do them in order. We set this rule out early on, didn't we? And
Yeah.
we are
it makes
ourselves.
sense with a series that is so kind of, especially these early ones, they all carry on from each other, don't they, in a way? Although,
true.
Yeah. Although in some ways they don't. So we're co-hosting it, aren't we, Chris? Actually.
Yeah,
So
Well, the three you've got to remember on this one is the 3 films before it had like a proper arc going across them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, they had a completely blank slate. They could do anything they wanted. And this is the shit they came up with.
Well, what they wanted to do you know what they wanted to do?
No.
So how it started basically is, as we know from Voyage Home, the only way that Shatner agreed to be directed by Nimoy was if he could direct 5. So 5 had to happen regardless.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his basically meeting God is, from what I can tell, is all that Shatner really brought to this film. That's his idea, is that they go and meet God. But his spec for this apparently was a lot darker.
It was the rest of the crew going against him though, and betraying Kirk.
Yeah.
And obviously they all kicked off about that, so that never went anywhere.
It got kicked off in a lot of ways. They wanted humour and things like that, but he wanted a very somber, serious film where, it was Kirk on his own, being the hero, no surprise there, and none of the jokes from 4, and a lot of a darker thing.
It's funny because they all hate him, so you think they'd like to be in a film where they all hate him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Paramount really made the decisions here. It's not the crew that got to moan about it. Basically, they didn't want that. And so they brought in Herb Bennett, is that his name? I can't really say it now. Who is the guy who produced 2, 3 and 4 and sort of built this sort of era of Trek to try and pass out of... Get a proper story out of this, really. And... I mean,
He failed.
yeah, we don't often say up front, but I think it's fair to say here that all of us weren't into Star Trek V, were we?
No.
No, I knew this was a steaming one compared to the others.
Yeah.
Chris, was it as good, as bad? Was it as bad as you remembered? Was it worse or better, or what was your...
I'm fully aware of this movie, so it was as bad as I
You've seen it enough to...
expected.
Yeah.
I knew all the bad points. I was really just watching it again just so I could just write down what all the bad points were.
Yeah, okay. Alex, when did you last see Star Trek V?
It was a long, long time ago, and I kind of didn't remember much about it. But in a way, I think it was made worse because we are watching them in order. And to me, this was basically like all the worst bits of all the other films were put into this film. It's like, instead of the best bits, it's like the worst bits of all. It kind of had the tedium and kind of grandiose navel gazing of motion picture. It had the kind of stupid, annoying, like wacky wahahaha one-liners. Kind of action for old people, like...
Action for old people.
We'll get to the old people bit of this, definitely.
Yeah, it was bad. And it was almost, in a way, it made me appreciate the whale one more, because I didn't like... That's which one's that? 4?
4, yeah.
4. Because I didn't like 4, and a bit of me was like, oh, why am I watching this? They're on Earth. It's really annoying. I don't watch Star Trek for them to be on Earth. But now, all that wackiness is on the ship, and I'm like, you're ruining this even... It's better that they were on Earth, because at least you weren't ruining, like, the Federation and the ship and everything.
Yeah. The linchpin of this film being wrong for me is that basically the entire crew should be court-martialed and not doing anything, because... none of this makes any sense.
It's insanity. It's beyond insanity. I don't know what is going on that ship.
So what we'll do? Let's go for the plot in order. And so I'll go for the plot. Chris, you got your list of things that are wrong. Feel free to pipe up. So we start on Nimbus 3, which doesn't look much like a Star Trek planet to me. Oh, you've got one already, right? Okay.
A horse with a horn attached to its head.
Yes, we meet Cybok, who's got his horn horse, and
you know what that is? Because Shatner's a horse fancier, isn't he?
There's
a lot horses of horses in everything.
There's a lot of horses in this film.
There is a lot of horses in this. Also,
because he rents the horses to the production, his own horses, and he earns money off it.
What a surprise! Shatner also, before we go any further, claims that he got up at 5 o'clock every morning while making this film and worked out for a couple of hours, which makes you wonder what on earth state was he in if that wasn't happening. No, but anyway, we're not with Shatner yet. We're on Nimbus 3 with Cybok, who... Because
you know, like, if you're working out during the shoot, that's too late. You should have been doing it
before. So he's kind of the antagonist, but he's not really in the end, is he? He's just a kind of boring character.
Just a bloke,
We don't know who he is yet. Yeah, bloke with Vulcan ears, basically, who's got this power to take the pain from people.
They go for an Obi-Wan Kenobi sort of feel.
Totally. Doesn't it, the whole thing not feel like Star Trek in this first scene?
No.
It feels very...
No, it's really odd beginning. It looks like a Western, like a rubbish Western at this point.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is the look of the film that Shatner was trying to make.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, the thing is about all this, I don't believe a word he says, Shatner, basically. You know...
Yeah? You think he said it after the fact, basically?
Totally, he's full of shit.
Yeah.
You know, he's got one agenda, and that's making Shatner look good, isn't it? That is his one...
True, that's true.
...mission in life.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, yeah, this is a little teaser and a little sting. Basically, there's a guy out there who takes pain from people. Doesn't seem so bad to me. What's the problem? Doesn't seem like a bad guy. It's a stupid opening. But let's get back to this. The crew.
I know, but it's a very stupid opening because you forgot the one thing. They reveal his Vulcan ears, and then he just does a big laugh, like
oh yeah, for ages.
And if you've ever watched any Star Trek, you'd be like, well, that doesn't make any sense because Vulcans don't laugh like that because they don't have emotion. So you're already just like, what is this? Am I even watching Star Trek? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they do have emotion. They just suppress it.
Yeah.
He's gone wild. So I think probably this next scene is the most iconic bit of this film. Do you think Kirk climbing the mountain? It's the bit I always remember from this film.
The 6-minute credit title sequence with
I'd
climbing the mountain.
Is that over the titles? Is it him climbing
looking
the mountain?
Macho, climbing over fake rocks, clearly like fiberglass.
But it's not him, is it? A lot of it isn't.
No, it's not him. It's not close enough. Until he is literally like just lying on some fiberglass, and it's obviously him.
They've like constructed the rock in the way that his gut can be like some sort of like flotation.
He's actually just on a step ladder just out of shot.
Yeah.
So
this is how we get reintroduced to the crew. So what at this point, or they don't really explain what's going on, do they?
They're on shore leave, aren't they?
Yeah, I could have accepted that they were on shore leave, just going camping.
And he's been demoted, hasn't he?
Yeah, he got demoted.
That's the end of the last film, is it?
He's a captain again now.
Yeah. And
the last film ended with them taking the new ship out for a run, and it was all sparkly and spangly, and it was all working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Enterprise is in orbit. They're down here, and they've all split off to go on holiday. Bones, Spock, and Kirk have gone on holiday together, and so we get basically,
ski boots.
We get ski boots. we get a campfire scene. Where
terrible effects. That falling sequence as well.
And when Spock flips over like that when he dies, it just looks so.
It's just really
very
fake.
Superman 4, isn't it?
Terrible attention to detail, terrible effects.
Yeah. This film cost $33 million to make, so it's not a cheap film.
No.
For the time. So they're really trying to sell this idea that Spock, Kirk, and Bones are they've been through a lot. They literally can't spend any time apart. They've gone on holiday together. Yeah. So my question to you... Chekhov has gone off with Sulu.
Oh, yeah. Chekhov and Sulu are just treated like a pair of complete clowns.
Yeah. And Scott is on the ship. Uhura's on the ship. We'll get to her. The problem there. Which holiday would you rather be on, Alex? Where would you rather be right now?
I'd be with Sulu and Chekhov, probably.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, they're more fun, aren't they? I mean, they're more I think they're more normal, at least. I think you'd have better conversation.
Yeah, you wouldn't like to be singing row the boat with...
Oh my God, no.
So this scene...
I'd rather be on the ship. Repairing the ship.
In a corner.
I think Shatner's got a thing about the great outdoors and horse riding and all that stuff, and he tries to put it down other people's throats.
Yeah.
Is it Nimoy said that he was trying to teach him how to ride a horse, even though Leonard Nimoy was riding horses for much longer than he has, because he used to do play Indians in cowboy films.
Yeah, the cowboy films. Yeah. It basically all culminates in this fireside scene, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But what
fucking marshmallow dispenser? They made that and sold that. You could buy that.
Marshmallows.
Oh wow. Yeah. What is this scene though? What is the tone of it? Do you think they're going for? Is it meant to be funny that they don't know the words?
I think they're going for The Room.
It's so bad. Did you read all the stuff about why? Because Spock says marshmallows, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Did you read about why he says marshmallows?
No.
So, because obviously Spock never makes a mistake, so why has he made a mistake about what marshmallows are called, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, the novelisation shows that McCoy, knowing Spock would want to study what the ship had in the library computer about camping... paid a tech to change all references in the Enterprise computer about marshmallows to marshmallows. So...
I'm surprised that is not in the film. That's the kind of shit you could imagine. I bet they filmed that. I bet that exists somewhere.
But that means he's changed... it forever, though.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying marshmallows,
this is,
it's not that important, but
this is more proof of the fact that these people should not be in a position of power. They're incompetent and, basically taking the piss out of the Federation, aren't they?
They're so incompetent, but also you can see, the incompetence of the directing as well, because there's loads of, little half crappy ideas and jokes, which has obviously happened on the day... And Shatner's gone, yeah, that's great, we'll go with that. We'll do that.
Yeah, there is a real improv feel about that scene, isn't there, that doesn't work because he's not improvising against anybody and he can't improv because he's just shit.
Yeah.
It's such an awkward...
You watch the top of that scene, it's just like The Room because McCoy starts with the big triangle going, come and get it.
Yeah.
And then Shatner just comes into frame. He goes, Bones, we're all here.
And when you got the song, he's like, "Oh,
so what's
do you know any classic songs? What's the? Oh, row the boat."
I really love that song. Let's sing the song.
And also, why does he assume that Spock would understand how a round works when row the boat at that point would be absolutely historic?
Yeah.
And he's from another fucking planet.
Yeah.
Are they teaching at the academy how to sing row the fucking boat?
Yeah.
The only good joke is when Bones says, "I liked him better before he died." About Spock.
That's all right. Yeah,
that's quite a good joke. But
there was better jokes than that in the last film, though.
Yeah,
along
somehow it makes you realise, the last film had much better jokes in it.
So before we catch up the rest of the crew, we see a little shot of the Klingons. Oh no, we go to the planet, don't we? So a Klingon, a Romulan, and a human walk into a bar.
A Romulan, a woman that doesn't look like a Romulan.
What's the punchline of that joke? A Klingon, a Romulan, and a human walk into a bar.
I don't know.
No, nor me. I think the punchline is shoot yourself in the head. This film is terrible. That's the punchline of that joke. So they've all been drawn to this planet of peace, the Paradise City, which looks like Mos Eisley after like a tornado's gone through it.
You can understand like what the idea was. It's supposed to be like some sort of like, you know, that like village on the border of North Korea and South Korea type scenario.
But why doesn't it look a bit nicer if it's that important and meant to be that?
Because it actually isn't important. It's just like a diplomatic gesture.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're all there to. What are they doing? Peace talks? Why are they?
No, they're there literally just because it's an equally managed planet by them.
Right, so they just hang out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Cybot rolls up, holds them hostage.
Yeah.
Like you're saying about how much the film cost. Yeah. I read that William Shatner, in an interview on E! Entertainment Television, said David Warner's character was going to have a prop that consisted of a self-lighting cigarette. According to Shatner, they simply forgot to use it in one of the scenes, even though the prop actually worked and cost thousands of dollars. What a brilliant... so they've made it, they designed it, and they just didn't use it. Too late
too
now.
busy sticking a fucking horn on a horse.
Yeah. Continuity. Can't have a cigarette now, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's all still very low stakes and boring, isn't it? It just looks awful, doesn't it? It looks...
The whole, like, you know, the siege of that was just... The energy of it and the action of it is just so half-assed.
And and also, like, all these... Any action shot, you can tell that Shatner's not a director, because he just sticks the camera there, doesn't he? And...
Yeah. Well, actually, when we see the Klingons...
Yeah.
And they blow up, like, Voyager 2 or whatever it is. They blow up a space probe. Like, you can tell he's not an action director because there's, like, a close-up of the gun of the ship going, like... And then a close-up of, like, the... what it's shooting. And it actually starts screaming, the sound.
Yeah.
Just really strange. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit late, but we'll do that now, yeah.
So caricatured Klingons, though. Yeah. Considering what we know Klingons to be.
I mean, yeah, that's the excuse for getting Klingons there. I mean, no, in fact, it's completely unrelated, isn't it? Them blowing up the satellite. It's nothing to do with the actual why they go. But they get they intercept a distress call and head for the planet as well. So all the pieces are moving into place slowly and boringly. But let's get back to Earth, where one of the most awkward scenes in the film is on the Enterprise. Scotty's fixing it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And Uhura, or Uhuru, sorry, how do you say it? Uhuru, is it? Yeah.
Uhura. Oh, isn't it Uhura?
Yeah, Uhura. Has brought him his dinner in like it's a meatloaf in like a Ziploc bag.
No, I think they're just blown up bags. They're like, I don't think there's anything in it.
Like, what is going on? And there's like this weird sexual tension before them, which has never existed before.
No, it's so odd.
Doesn't exist again. And it's as though the whole crew's gone except these two.
Did you see the two workmen in the back, like with their feet up on the?
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally Scotty is fixing it single-handedly.
Yeah,
you say, it's in a worse state than it was before anyway. How's it got like this? How did they get to Earth?
I don't know. They're in space dock.
Oh, they are in
space dock because it opens with them in space dock.
Right. Okay.
And she has to take a shuttlecraft down to the planet to get everyone because the transporter on the ship is broken.
Well, not only that,
and I go, well, what about the 2,000 transporters on space dock? Or
but not only that, she has to go down because Kirk's not took his communicator, has he?
Yeah,
another blatant, another like court-martial offence. You know, he's gone off the grid. He's a fucking starship captain. He can't just go missing. Like that.
Well, the thing is though, you can scan a planet from orbit and find people, so that's not a big issue, really, is it? But.
No, but your ship's docked above the planet, and there's an emergency. You know, it's the flagship of the Federation.
Yeah,
they've got to get across the galaxy, and he's like, "Oh, I want to go camping."
They use a shot of showing the Enterprise in space dock. They reuse it from the last film.
Yeah,
you know when they're flying to it and they realise it's their ship because they go over the Excelsior, and then literally the next line is, "There's no other ships." And it's like the Excelsior's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's the most painful attempt at like a getting the gang back together sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah. Like with the Sulu and Chekhov bit where they've gone missing.
Oh god, it's everything like all the science fiction is wrong. Like he's just got everything wrong. It just doesn't work. Like oh man, the ship's gone mental, isn't it? Why would he doesn't? Yeah, you know.
You can't. There's so much wrong. You can't. You're overwhelmed.
You said they're all incompetent, right?
Yeah.
I looked up like Kirk is supposed to be a captain.
Yeah.
Spock is a captain, and Scotty is also a captain. So there's 3 pretty high-ranking, supposed to be people on this ship. Yeah. And I'll bring this back later when you carry on. When there's certain things that happen.
Well, there's things happening already, right?
Yeah.
They're all like massively too old to be doing this anymore, aren't they? They are literally too old for this shit.
Well,
Scotty,
I don't know, it's the future. You could probably work a lot later, couldn't you?
Well, no, but like, can Scotty fit in a whatchamacallem tube? What they call Jefferson? No, Jefferson tube, is it? Yeah. Can he fit in one of those anymore? I don't think he can. He's huge. Bones not really being a doctor anymore. He's just like, I think Bones really through a lot of these films is just like Kirk's mate who just hangs around.
Yeah, I think he's just like a parrot on his shoulder.
Yeah. And okay, Spock's got stuff to do, but really Spock should be elsewhere doing stuff, shouldn't he? Not just hanging around here. The whole lot of them are just wasting everyone's time.
And also in canon, the ship isn't supposed to be brand new, right? That ship is just a renamed another ship.
Yeah.
That's why it was ready straight away in canon.
Yes. Yeah, right, okay. Anyway.
Because obviously the last one was an old design and they blew it up, and this one is the exact same ship but with an A written on it.
I mean, it's just lazy writing. The Enterprise being broken is basically just a plot device, isn't it, to get them
terrible.
out of any
They've just
corner
gone
they're
backwards.
stuck in.
I did have a theory here because this is when Starfleet call, don't they? And they say there's terrorists are taking Nimbus. And like Chris said, you're the only ship around.
Well, actually, he says there are other ships, but no other captain.
Yeah, there's other ships, but no one's as good as you, Kirk. But we don't want conflict, he says, doesn't he? But he's still sending Shatner. And also, we don't have transporters, which would be the way that you'd solve the problem straight away. Oh, doesn't matter, go. I wonder if actually that Federation commander wants them all to die.
That's a good idea.
Actually, if you think of it from that perspective, that there's this commander and he's
they're just trying to get rid of them because
they're trying to get rid of them. They know the ship's broken. They know everyone's fucking incompetent. Yeah. The rest of the people in that ship are expendable. This is a really high level. They know that it's Cybok as well.
Yeah, they should have got
so
busted.
far out
They
the way,
should have
isn't
got
it?
busted in the last film, but they all got let off.
Yeah, if
it's like at the edge of the galaxy. No one knows it happens, don't they?
No,
like what happens to them?
Oh, Kirk just went out there. He's a rogue. He just went out there. Oh, we didn't know it was Cybok, Spock's brother. Oh, that's why Spock was useless. I think maybe if you see it from that perspective, it makes it kind of a better film, but
definitely
only a little bit. But it's kind of the only answer because why would you not send any other ship? Like, it's so stupid why they send the Enterprise. Like, anyway.
Well, when when he's there and he's trying to do his captain's log.
Yeah.
So the ship being busted. How does it affect this device here? I don't understand.
His tape recorder.
Just doesn't understand.
No.
I like the bit as well when he does his little speech and he says, I wrote it down. He says, "I'm afraid the ship has problems. Will have to be solved en route. Since we are all undermanned, I expect each one of you to give his best." End of speech. Do you think he just read like the stage direction?
No, I think he was just like
this stage left.
He was like, this film script doesn't make any sense. Can I just put a little bit in here where I'll just explain where the plot is, and I'll just throw it away in character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the ship's broken, and they head off to Nimbus 3. They get there, and
it's funny how red alert lights don't work right, but it can give an order and they go immediately to warp.
Yeah,
if the ship was that knackered, would you start the nuclear reaction in the engine?
It's the most dangerous part of the whole ship, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Because the shields aren't working either. Is that right? Or
the fucking lift doors don't work. No. They're going into battle.
At least the prison works. We'll get to that later. So they get to the planet and they want to get in and neutralise Cybok. And I mean, if you could pick one Star Trek character to do a sexy dance,
this is probably one of the. This is the point because at this point, I think it's almost. See, this is what I mean. Like it's like they were like, oh, we've ruined Spock, we've ruined Kirk, we've ruined McCoy. Oh, who haven't we ruined yet? Oh, let's just ruin Uhura. Let's just absolutely ruin this character. So, it's so
for those
awful.
at home, if you've not watched this film, I don't blame you.
So awful.
They need to get in. They need to get in behind enemy lines, and so they decide that the only way to get through is to distract the guards. So Uhura goes to the top of a mound of dirt and gets a couple of fans out and does a little dance.
Naked dance.
A naked
she
dance,
sings a song.
which is incredibly alluring, and everyone gets distracted by it.
Even though there are strippers, three
there's a room of strippers in
the bar
in the group,
where they are working.
Yeah.
But they don't have as good a lighting as she had.
Yeah, they're fans, maybe, I don't know.
She had like a moon behind her.
Yeah, she did. Oh, it's so awful, that bit. Oh.
I mean,
I like how the Admiral told him not to start a war, and the first thing they do is just fill a shuttlecraft full of soldiers.
well, Shatner's clearly not paying attention to that the whole way through, has he? Like, he's not bothered about... He's not listening to that "Don't Start a War." But later on, when Spock doesn't kill that guy, he's just like, "Shoot him!" And he's not really doing anything wrong, has he? He doesn't kidnap a few people. Anyway,
I don't know. He's trying to take control of a warship, and you would shoot him. And
I suppose,
Spock is a captain, and he should have shot him. And they're all incompetent. And then right at the end of that scene, it's shown that Scotty has been watching the whole fucking thing through the control room window.
Yes.
That whole scene, he's been watching that and hasn't raised the alarm, hasn't...
Well, we've skipped ahead a bit.
Yeah, Uhura's still naked at this point.
Oh yeah,
let's go back. Sorry, we don't want to skip the 2 moon Uhura dance, do we?
God, sorry.
So yeah, I'm sure that adorned many students' walls, didn't it, back in the 80s? Can you think of any less sexy, any scene, any film that is in? Because that's meant to be.
It's just like beyond sexism, isn't it? It's like fucking terrible.
It's just embarrassing.
But it's filmed like it's meant to be like, you know, the in the old Star Trek series, there'd be a girl dance when there's something like that, and it's not a knowing take on her being like a bit old and stuff, is it? It's just they're just trying to recreate that, aren't they? That like soft purple light. It's like a fucking Fleetwood Mac video. Anyway, let's move on, show. Yeah, so that's awful. They get in, and I mean, I can't do it. Chekhov is the pretend captain because this is a great plan, and. So they don't know Kirk's the captain, and the dance happens. And
the most famous ship in the galaxy.
Yeah, the guy's never heard of him. He's not heard of Kirk either, has he? He doesn't know who Kirk is, does he?
Well, I don't know. If his half-brother was Spock, you think you'd have heard of James T. Kirk, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So they all get entwined. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it, really?
Well,
like they
have a big fight. Kirk fights the 3-boobed Catwoman. And
yes.
They
faked, and the worst faked boobs.
Well, and I was at the time thinking, why are there samples of James Brown for her?
Yeah.
And then I read they actually are. It's not even just
they are.
They just.
I
use
thought it was that
samples.
jukebox thing, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Behind her.
Why would you use that as the sound? It's so odd.
All these scenes have got terrible like looped Foley, haven't they? For the background of its noises, like it goes like.
It's so awful. But he just wanders into the bar, gets beat up by this woman, just throws her in a pond, doesn't he? And then oh, it's just
that's
such a
the
bad
snooker
fight.
table. It's like a snooker table cum pond.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
He's definitely going for a Mos Eisley effect and has failed terribly.
Did you know that woman? The application of her makeup took 6 hours, and she was approximately on screen for 53 seconds.
Who, the Catwoman?
The Catwoman, yeah. She's called a felinoid, exotic dancer. That's what the word is for her. Yeah, fucking hell.
Right.
Oh, it's so awful. It's such an awful fight. It's so lame.
Keeping up with the list of violations of Star Trek code here, he's taking his like 3 most senior officers down to the planet.
They always do that in Star Trek. You got to let that slide. They always take the bridge. They take the bridge officers into the direct line of fire. And normally, when they go down to a planet, the ship's also in danger with another ship. And so now the bridge is being manned by Muppets.
Next Gen don't do that, though.
They do?
No, they don't. They'll always leave Riker or Picard up there.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Just a little aside. Have you heard they're thinking about making a Picard series?
Ooh. With who?
Is
with
it,
him?
though?
With Picard in it.
Oh, okay.
Like a limited series of...
Just on a vineyard, making wine?
Oh, I guess, yeah. I don't know what
Great. Chateau Picard.
Yeah. Or back at the academy. Like,
It just turns into...
That'd be amazing.
It's just a wine programme. But
it's like the
future
Trip
wine programme. Yeah.
Yeah. He just like telling stories to like his his son or something on the vineyard. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Anyway, let's not worry about good Trek. It's back to bad Trek. So they're all captured, aren't they? And it's all getting a bit bad. And Kirk decides to initiate emergency docking plan B.
Oh God.
Cyborg wants to steal the starship. We've missed that.
Yeah,
that's
all
he
he wants
wanted,
it.
really.
Yes, that's his plan.
So
is to get out
there's
there
no
with the ship.
systems in place for someone to literally get in a shuttlecraft, fly to a starship, and take it over.
Yeah, I mean, how many is the crew of the Enterprise, just generally?
I don't know. It should be hundreds, but I guess they've got a smaller crew, right?
But it's still more than how many does Cyborg have with him? 4?
It's more than them Muppets with their fucking like makeup guns.
Yeah.
So why aren't they just docking and then everyone just stands there with a gun?
Well, this is it. This is what I'm saying. Scotty was watching the whole fucking thing through the control room window. The only thing I could have thought of is maybe they took like all the men who could fight down to the planet with them to attack, and they left them there.
But also,
all that's walking around now on the ship are just like useless idiots.
But also, if this guy's master plan to get a warship and go off is so terrible, right? And he can't do it without them, and he's got a few hostages, why don't they just like call his bluff and just wait for somebody else to turn up?
Yeah.
You know, like he can't get anywhere. There's no other way off. He's stuck. So kind of he's got to play by their rules, otherwise he never leaves. So they just say, okay, we'll get you a ship. Just wait a bit. Not go to docking plan B.
And why doesn't Cybok do his mind control gig
Straight
on
away.
Shatner
At this
as soon
point,
as he
yeah.
fucking meets him?
No, because he's done it on everyone else.
Then there would be no movie.
No, he's done it on everyone else. Everyone else, like all the because you think all the
if anyone's got
ambassadors,
if anyone's got pain and bubbling underneath his, veneer, it'd be Kirk.
You'd think, yeah. And the Klingons here, aren't they? This is why it's all complicated, because the Klingons have turned up. I mean, they're after Kirk, aren't they? Is that what I meant to think? They're trying to get Kirk.
Well, the one I watched didn't have subtitles on the Klingon stuff. Did yours?
No,
Yeah.
mine didn't either.
Oh, I did, yeah. They basically...
What do they say?
So they... So after that bit where they see the probe, they're basically like moaning about...
I had to get my
humans and
Klingon
stuff.
dictionary out and actually manually...
No, they're moaning about the probe, and they just really hate humans and stuff. And so they get here, and they're kind of just hot. They know Kirk. They intercept the communications between the ship and the ground, and they know Kirk's there, and they're just hot for Kirk. Basically, they want.
Yeah,
Kirk
he just wants to have a rook with Kirk because he must be legendary in the Klingon Empire.
So that's why they're hanging around.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're really there because it's a nice excuse for why they can't do things easily because they might attack and all this sort of stuff. And
I like that periscope thing. It goes on the seat.
yeah.
That's the only good thing from this film.
Yeah, but anyway, it's so convoluted and boring, isn't it? Like all
The
these
action, the flying stuff, the whole
it's just dull.
crashing into the. It's just crap. It's
Yeah.
got no energy to it.
No. It's like reading bullet points, isn't it, on a plot synopsis?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he gets off the planet eventually, Cybot, gets the Enterprise. His mind controlled everybody pretty much at this point, except the principal 3 characters.
Except the only person you need to do it.
Yeah,
For your plan to...
the one he should have started with. He's gone for the less tried bottom-up approach of command. He started with the lowest, and he's gradually working through, getting up to the captain. It's like to convince him that the rest of the crew's gone.
Because what
for it,
you would do is you just... If you just taught the captain into it, then you've got all the access
They all follow the
codes,
order. Yeah,
haven't you?
totally. Yeah. Doesn't matter anymore. Oh,
Because
God.
really, as soon as they step foot on the Enterprise, Kirk should just be able to go use his access codes to just lock the whole fucking thing down, shouldn't he?
You'd think, yeah. Or just fly the wrong way in space. That guy's not going to know, is he?
No, he isn't.
Or have some secret word that means lock down the hangar bay and just leave us
No, he's
in
got
there.
that. Emergency docking plan B.
Yeah, but then everyone gets out of the ship. Oh, it's just so dumb, isn't it, though? Oh, God.
What does B mean?
Yeah.
Barricade.
Where you think he's passed on some information to them there, but really he hasn't.
No, he's got no idea because they're incompetent.
Because they're all incompetent, even though they're the highest rank.
Yeah. So they're in jail. Now, we get another awful skit scene here with Spock. And which kind of culminates in this whole thing about Spock having created this perfect jail cell, which is completely impenetrable. which it's one thing to write that, but then to have Scotty basically just belly bash his way through the wall to break them out.
Do you notice when he sits down on the toilet and there's that sign that says "Do not use in space dock"?
Yeah. Isn't the whole scene he's on the loo, isn't he, Shatner? Well, this whole thing.
I mean, that's just an example of a naff joke.
So is it before this they've been brainwashed, or is it after it is, isn't it?
You forgot to say that it turns out that Cyborg is Spock's brother.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was not known, is it? Yeah, so that awkward
Shoot
exchange.
him.
Yeah,
I actually think the energy of that shoot him is good. You know, where he tells him to shoot it. But I just don't understand why Spock doesn't sort him out.
Or wound him. Why don't you shoot him in the foot?
Yeah.
Yes, just do anything, yeah.
Just shoot him in the bollocks.
Set to stun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stun him. Yeah.
Anything.
And it
Not
should
only
be,
is that-
you still should be able to get nowhere if the fucking captain and first officer is in the fucking brig.
But also, right, you don't really buy that anyway. It's Spock's brother, and then there's a whole scene with McCoy explaining how stupid it is that nobody has ever heard about this brother, isn't he? He's like, so you're telling me you've got this brother you've never ever mentioned? That is fucking stupid, isn't it? It isn't. It's a stupid plot point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's awful.
Well, I guess the plot of Discovery is the same, isn't it? Because she's a sister, which we've never heard of.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, they pretty much did it in Discovery. Yeah, they just made up a character and related.
And they never mentioned Cybok in Discovery either.
Sarek was a horny dog, basically.
Well, yeah,
or a horny horse, maybe.
Well, he was a diplomat.
True.
So it's before the breakout, isn't it, that we get the flashback scenes? Is that right? We get the
No, they break out. Hold on.
Is that later on? Oh, they get caught again, don't they? Yes, they break out. So the breakout.
Oh no, there's another stupid jet boots scene.
Yeah, so before the breakout.
Oh, and also
there's the Morse code bit. Do you remember this Morse code bit?
Yeah, the Morse. Oh god.
So the way Scotty tells them to get back from this impenetrable jail cell, which he's managed to break through, is Morse code, and they read out "stand back" in Morse code, don't they? And anyone with an IQ above 40, by the time you get to the A of "stand back," knows it's "stand back."
But also, Morse code is defunct now. They don't use Morse code now. And it starts tapping away, and then Kirk goes, "I'm a little bit rusty. N, D, end of word, B, A."
It's so... Oh god! And then it gets to the end, stand back, and they all look at each other like, "Oh, what's that mean?" And then they stand back. It's just...
It'd be funny if the wall exploded and then they flew back and then hit them lit up like bars and just died.
all vaporized. Scotty's there like shit.
Yeah.
Wrong wall.
Yeah.
I quite like them bars though. You know, them fluorescent tubes which are on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a sort of end of Act 2, let's say.
It's also... Oh, no, but hold on. Just before that...
Starbuck gives his speech over the tannoy, and it just shows the crew just wandering around in the corridors, just listening to him. Just well, I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my normal job. My job is to press this button, and I do not care.
Got to fix that replicator. Don't know what's going outside.
And the premise is they go into the centre of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Which is...
Alex, what are you going to say?
I was just going to say that the same way they ruin Uhura, the bit where Scotty smacks his head on the beam is pretty much ruining that character. Because
comedy gold, doesn't it?
It's a funny joke, but it's literally... It's literally the opposite of what that... If the one thing that he's I know this ship, it's the one thing he shouldn't do.
It's just more fucking proof that they shouldn't be on this ship.
No.
Why is your chief of engineering knocking himself out on a beam?
It's the one thing he shouldn't do, like any other joke.
Totally.
So you've just ruined that character as well. You've now put a nail in that.
Can you imagine if you're second in command to Scotty? Apparently Scotty's got no staff, but say you work for Scotty, your boss has just knocked himself out on a fucking beam that wasn't hard to see, walking down a straight corridor, talking to himself. Why has someone not stepped in and gone, "I'm relieving you of duty. I don't think you're fit to do this post anymore"?
These lot should not be in charge of weapons.
Anything.
The end of this film. The end of this film should have been that it was all a simulator and they've all basically been fired.
All failed.
They failed so badly. They're all just so past it. It was all just
the geriatric took over the ship.
So before we get to the third act, I want to ask Alex specifically at some point during this film. Obviously, you haven't seen these films as much as me and Chris.
No.
how are you feeling about Star Trek at this point? At this
so
point
low.
in the film?
Like I said, it just really felt like they were just any character I had even a little bit of goodwill towards. They were just trying to make me hate everyone.
This nearly killed the whole franchise, didn't it?
But you can see why. It's so awful. Like
They've ruined every character, including the Enterprise. Have ruined that character as well.
Well, exactly, though, because, like you say, the Enterprise is, like, all wacky and, like, oh, I'm broken, all the lift doors are back. Like, even the Enterprise is a joke. Like, it's so much more offensive than the Voyage Home, because it's just like, you're on the ship. There should be at least, even if it just played out like a normal episode, it would have been... Oh no, it's terrible. No, I was low. I was low at this point.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of flying to the middle of the galaxy would take them 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah, I mean, that is another issue, isn't it, with this? Because also, like, it's established a lot, isn't it, in the rest of the Trek sort of knowledge about the distances and stuff like that, and how far away the quadrants are.
I mean, there's a whole
like
series made where they were going from one side to the other, and it was taking them 70 years, and that was 200 years after this.
Yeah.
In technology.
Yeah, it's such like a just... Oh, yeah, I don't know. Imagine how annoying it must have been to be, like, into Star Trek when this came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, seeing what they're doing to this thing that you hold dear and stuff like that. Because this is... What year is this?
Oh, no, I don't have the year. 89.
89, yeah, so Next Generation is in its third year at this point.
But this is the thing, with this sort of stuff, you've got to, like, do it right, because everything hangs off it. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Next Generation has started and it's got over its, like, bumpy bit and it's getting good. So and that is establishing a proper universe beyond this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe they could be allowed to do something so
terrible,
off message in a way. You know what I mean? Like,
it's completely off message. The Romulans don't look like the Romulan woman doesn't look like a Romulan, like compared to what they do in Next Generation.
And to be honest, I think that's what 6 does well, isn't it? It manages to sort of tie it more into the universe of Next Gen
6
in a way
is
that this
proper
doesn't.
on message.
Yeah. But we'll get to that next time. Yeah. Anyway.
Do you want to break and have my boss's questions?
Yes,
oh yes, sounds good.
Okay. Well, like I say, he did them very quickly, so I don't know if you're gonna, how do you want to answer them? One each, or?
We'll take it turns to go first, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go with Chris. I'll aim this one at Chris. Which actor was first asked to play the role of Cyborg?
Sean Connery.
Oh, very good. That's one to Chris. Okay, you ready, Sam?
I'm ready.
But he was doing Indiana Jones. So at ILM.
Star Trek V is one of the few times a Star Trek film contained product placement, but which product?
Oh, I don't know that actually. Is it Nike? Is his shoes Nike?
No. Chris, can you steal?
Is it the marshmallow machine?
No, Levi jeans, which they were in the beginning of the film. Levi got a credit for them.
Oh, God.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, Levi's. How weird is that? Okay.
Well, Kirk's wearing Levi's.
Yeah, I guess they're all wearing Levi's on their when they're off planet. What we'll do this.
Shit.
We'll do a back and forth for this one. Okay. So Chris gets to answer first. Perhaps one of the best choices Shatner made with Star Trek V was having Jerry Goldsmith compose the score. Which are the other Star Trek films he scored? Just say one. Can you say one?
You use Chris first.
Chris gets to
6.
What's the name of that one?
The Undiscovered Country.
No. Sam?
And then 1 did motion picture, didn't he?
Yes, so that's one to Sam. Chris, can you do another one?
4.
What's that? No. Sam?
Oh, fuck.
The
other ones I'm not.
Search for Spock.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to go again, or do you want to give up?
Generations 7.
No. Just name films.
Rathakan?
No.
No, that's
We're running out. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. First Contact?
Yes, First Contact's another one of them.
Okay.
There are 2 more, though.
I like the score to First Contact. A weird, like...
Well, it's like in Next Generation.
The Borg music. Blah, 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 blah.
There's
When they're,
2
marching
more.
around the Enterprise. There's 2 more.
2 more.
Nemesis.
Yes. 1 more.
What's that?
Insurrection, I guess.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll go back to Chris here because I think he's a little bit behind. What is the first Star Trek film to feature a Romulan?
Probably this one.
Yeah, I was going to say this one.
It is this one.
Yeah.
It is this one.
Yeah.
Bonus question. This is in. I think. Oh no, this one you might know. What was the bonus question for Chris? What was the first episode to feature the Romulans?
Episode? What, of original series?
It's going to be
I think
idea.
it is.
Oh, fuck knows.
Okay. All right. Do you want,
I don't know original series. So.
We're not really OS fans.
It's Balance of Terror, but I'll give you this one. Who played? Mark Leonard.
Yeah, Sarek, isn't it?
Yeah, that's even I
knew
knew
that
that
bit.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's a draw between you two. That was the questions there, so
Okay.
I'd say that was a draw.
Nemesis, perhaps the only Star Trek film as bad as this one, I think. Isn't it?
Insurrection is pretty bad.
It's not as bad as Nemesis. Young
They
Tom
get a bit
Hardy.
hazy. They get a bit hazy.
Clone Picard.
I don't know what they were doing at that point though. Them movies. The old ski boot flying sequence up the lift shaft.
Yes, back to
see
the
how
film. So they've escaped.
Did you see how many decks the Enterprise had on that little
How many?
in that little sequence?
13?
Well, in reality, it's probably got like 15 or something.
Yeah.
And then they're doing that sequence where they're just flying up and up away, and they go like 88.
Perhaps it's so early on, they've built the decks the wrong way
Which
up.
is
and they're going
twice the size of the Galaxy class ship in Next Generation. Like,
Yeah,
it's like that is like the Empire State Building.
Yeah. This is their escape scene. They're trying to get up the shaft to get away from old Cybok.
And they're just counting up, even though actually they count down in a spaceship.
They've got technical manuals at this point. They should know better, shouldn't they, really?
Yeah.
It's just mad. I don't know what was going on.
Then he gets them though, doesn't he? Gets them in a room.
He grabs them, yeah. And so then he thinks, right, it's about time. Everyone else converted. I better get these top 3 dogs now. Again, I'll start with the least important. Let's go with the Freud. Even at this stage, only 3 of them left.
We'll just start with the least dangerous.
Yeah, who's this
my
guy
plan.
who appears to just follow Kirk around, moaning?
Get the
What's up
bunkie.
with this guy? And his pain is that his dad died, and he couldn't help. Was that it? I think.
No, and he died. No, he was dying, and he kind of let him die. He helped him commit suicide, but then literally the next day they invented a cure for the disease. But somehow, as a doctor, he didn't know about even the research that they were doing into the cure for the disease that his dad had that he probably would have been looking into.
And was also against every Hippocratic oath you'd ever take.
Yeah,
It's like a missing verse from Alanis Morissette's "Ironic," isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah. It's like killing your dad when they make a cure.
When tomorrow they make a cure. Yeah, and isn't that ironic? Don't you think? So then he's like, "Well, yeah, that pain's gone. I'm converted."
Yep.
And we go to Spock, and Spock's like, "I've got no pain. I'm fucking Spock."
Yeah.
But he's got pain, and it's about his philanderer dad, Sarek.
Yeah.
He's having doubts about Sarek. So, what is it? He's half human, isn't it? And Sarek's not
Yeah.
impressed with it.
Yeah,
It's a bit rubbish, that one. Like, it's not
He
even...
had he had mated with a human, so he did know it was going to come out half.
Yeah, I don't know why he's surprised.
It
Yeah.
wasn't a surprise.
Well, no, I guess actually, if he's got so many kids, he probably can't remember who he's been buffing.
And he is
He's got-
ambassador
got-
to Earth, so it shouldn't really repel him, the sight of a human.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Maybe,
that.
do you remember he gets that weird, space Alzheimer's in Next Gen? Perhaps he's got that now. Maybe that's an excuse for it. I don't know. I'm giving them. I've
the
thought
writers
hard
have
about
got
this
that
than they
on
have.
this.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because they had all the good writers on the TV and not on the movie? Or
No, because the TV, they're completely different staff. The TV staff are all.
But anyone they could
movies.
ask.
No, because that's the
just
weird
to
thing about
read
these
it,
films.
please just read the script and tell us what's wrong with it.
Is there anything remotely
everything's wrong.
loopy about this script? Just tell us.
Or wrong.
It's actually written. The guy who wrote it is a guy called David Lothery, who was brought in by Shatner to kind of make it better. But I've got it. I wrote it down. His credits. Right, these are his credits. Have you heard of any of these films? Dreamscape, The Stepfather, Flashback, Passenger 57. I think I know that.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah, with Wesley Snipes in it. Three Musketeers. This is post Star Trek though. Money Train, which is a terrible Wesley Snipes film.
Oh yeah.
Tom and Huck.
No.
Lakeview Terrace.
Oh, I like that film though. That's a weird film. I quite like that. Yeah.
Obsessed. Penthouse North. Nurse 3D, which is an erotic horror thriller, and The Intruder. So this guy. God knows where Shatner pulled him from.
Yeah,
but
God,
very, very odd. But yeah, it's his fault basically. And no, there's so about this series. The weird thing about Trek at this point is that they are still separate entities. Like, remember that like Shatner didn't want Next Gen to exist. The whole original cast think Next Gen is a joke.
Well, it was at this point. It still was really.
No, at this point it's like it's series 3 where it's it's an established because it's got through the hard bit at the start. Yeah, totally. But and that's why it's like a church and state separation in a way. Like the movie things are so separate from everything else. It's ridiculous, really. Anyway, so yeah, they've been
point where the laws of physics are different.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Maybe they do it just to wind up the people on Next Gen. They're like, they're so clever over there. Yeah. They've got all these rules. Well, fuck your rules.
Yeah. Get everything right all the time about our universe.
Characters.
Right now, so. Basically, everyone's taken over except Kirk because is it the Klingons are back or they got there? There's a reason that they don't. There's some reason he doesn't get Kirk. I can't remember what it is. Something happens.
Kirk does a big shouty speech about you've got to be in pain. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean to be honest, like my notes turn to shit here because the film. The key thing basically is they get to the planet, don't they? They get to the centre of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Well, they get to a place where there's a load of fiberglass. Rocks.
Oh yes, he says that God's told him to get through.
Fiberglass Stonehenge, and there's like this sort of Wizard of Oz type thing.
Big head.
Yeah.
And what does God want with a ship?
Well, see, at this point, is the first time in the film I thought, but no, actually, this isn't a terrible idea. The idea that there's a entity that's super powerful and it pretends to be God. And then people fall for that, and then it's like, haha, not really, I'm not God, I just want to take over the world. That's not a terrible idea, but it's an idea that could be done in an episode, and probably has been done in an episode, hasn't it? I mean, it must have been.
Yeah, I mean, there are things like this where there's someone like using subterfuge to...
Yeah.
There's loads of
Well, I mean, there are
this.
powers like Q, who is a god, isn't he, pretty much? The problem with it is that the way they tell it here is that it's the sort of plot which... given any sort of time or proper analysis, wouldn't hold together in terms of like if the crew was acting normally, they wouldn't just go through into this place to chase this god, would they? No. They wouldn't just go on the ravings of a madman who's got some power to heal pain.
No.
When you live in a galaxy where there's loads of crazy powers going on, the fact they're very ready to believe him, other than Kirk, of course.
But they've got a very 20th century
idea of morality.
Idea of God.
God, sorry, yeah. Yeah, so this God thing, as I said, this is Shatner's sort of idea, and his beef with this film is that the whole God and devil thing isn't more clear at the end, which is... Do you think that's the problem with this film?
No.
If we'd got a more clear God... Because he was like, oh, it's God, and then it turns out it's actually Satan.
But isn't it... It's not even his idea, because hadn't Roddenberry come up with this idea about 1 million times before?
Oh... Just lost Alex.
Oh, sorry. Can you not hear me?
Yes, you're back.
Hello.
Yeah. Go on,
sorry, hadn't Gene Roddenberry come up with this idea before of that, like the Enterprise meet God or that they take on God or something? Hadn't he come up with the idea already?
Oh, I don't know. Probably that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, yeah. Like I think that was the original motion picture idea. Was something to do with
But
God.
this is just,
yes. No, you're right. Actually, yes. Yeah.
So
but again, it just turns out to be an alien entity.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So when they're going in with, they kind of subvert their own ideas of what they're trying to tell people.
But this is a quote from Shatner, right? The studio suits worried that my story, this is a Shatner's version, featuring appearances by both God and Satan, would offend a lot of moviegoers. So Harv came up with the idea that perhaps we should alter the story and turn God and Satan into an evil alien pretending to be God for its own gain. So... that means that Shatner's original idea was they actually did meet Satan disguised as God.
Oh my God.
So when because a lot of quotes later on from him saying how the end of the film's problematic and stuff like that, but really they're trying to save something that was absolutely fucked, aren't they? If he meets Satan.
Yeah.
It's like...
That's worse.
Yeah.
I think Shatner's grasp of reality is a strange one. Like and also didn't he write like books of his own which aren't canon? Like,
well, he gets people to write them for him, but yeah. I mean, there's a book called Ashes of Eden, which apparently is his original outline for this film or something. This is the quote of him after the fact. This is after it's all gone wrong. We ultimately spend our first 100 minutes seeking God, and then, when we finally found him, he looked not unlike a big 100-watt floodlight with a face. You directed the fucking film! That really hurt us. And to simultaneously muddle through a hastily thrown together ending left us dead in the water. It was the ruination of that film. So, again, his basis of this film being bad is that they took away his idea of Satan and replaced it with an alien. Which is not the problem with this film at all, is it really? It's a lot more than this.
Because that,
just fascinating.
That at least keeps it in Star Trek and not in some madman's ravings. Like,
yeah, totally, yeah. Like
least, you
just write this off as like a bad alien, don't you? Whereas his ending, you've ruined the entire universe, haven't you? For everyone.
But also, it's more so because he starts climbing again, doesn't he? There's more climbing and running.
Oh, yeah.
I mean... What does it matter what happens here? Basically, because Kirk said earlier on he's going to die alone, hasn't he? That's his whole thing. And so everyone gets off the planet, and Kirk has to face down this monster, and he gets chased by a rock for a bit, doesn't he? Like a few little rock monsters.
Yeah.
You can fire
who
a photon
cares?
torpedo down at them.
Yeah. Because because Kirk's going to sacrifice himself, isn't he? Which he doesn't. And he gets to the line about how he's lost his brother, but his brother's really Spock. I just don't care. I mean, the ending is absolutely... You've lost all will to be interested, haven't you, at this point?
No, it's terrible.
It's absolutely abysmal.
The writing is just...
I've lost energy to even talk about it, to be honest. Yeah. It's just... Chris, have you got any more points about Star Trek you'd like to bring up? Because
I've covered most of them. I mean, it's just general... There's loads of errors, loads of just, you could go to town on it as far as actually what's wrong with it. And also, it's not even that it's like they've made things wrong to try and... Because I know why he's done things wrong or made mistakes, is because he's having fun in the process. So he thought, we'll get a joke in here, because it doesn't actually matter that the ship does this, because we get our joke out of it. And it's like, well... It does matter because your joke's shit. And, this universe still has to make sense. And on top of all of that, it's racist, it's sexist, and it's got all that sort of 20th century William Shatner-ness about it as well. Which, and just this sort of, all these middle-aged men doing their thing.
Yeah.
They sort all the Klingons out as well, don't they, for some strange reason?
Yeah.
It just gets sorted. Like, it's just like, this is, Roger Ebert says, the humans and the Klingons seem to join sides after an off-camera speech by a former Klingon leader who had been put out to pasture. Since this leader is identified as having been badly treated by the Klingons in his retirement, how did he suddenly regain the authority to negotiate a truce? And do we really need to see the mighty Klingon reduced to the status of a guest at a cocktail party? Which is basically the end. It's just a big cocktail party, isn't it?
Totally.
It kind of feeds into the next movie, that bit. But, yeah.
So, I've got one more quote from Shatner, because he likes to have the last word, and let's let him have the last word. So, a couple of years ago, he did I think it was Entertainment Weekly. There's a big thing on the internet saying he's apologised for Star Trek 5. He's apologised at last. So, this is his quote about what he thinks is wrong with the film again. This is like long after the fact. Because I just can't get over this guy, the nerve of this guy. I got the chance to direct a several $1 million movie, Star Trek 5. So he's saying several $1 million. He's like, put the budget down. And I did not get the help I needed. So it's not his fault. He didn't get the help he needed in allocating my budget. So when it came to shooting the ending, needing a good villain and lots of computer graphics, I'd run out of money. He's already changed his story from before. Sorry about that. I had to use footage I'd already shot and spit on it a lot. I wanted to give the audience earth-breaking granite monsters spewing rocks and fire. Instead, I had a few pebbles in my hand that I threw at the camera. So again, he's still doubling down on the fact that this satanic thing at the end would be good, and also it's not his fault because somebody didn't tell him how to manage a budget, so it's not his fault.
He's also only saying it's the end.
He's blaming it on it. The spectacle wasn't big enough. That's what he's saying was wrong with it. But that's not what's wrong with it.
It's
because it's fucking bonkers.
Yeah, but what I think is, okay, keep bringing Shatner up, because what is this film for me is the problem with ego over anything else, isn't it?
Yeah.
This film is led by the ego of Shatner, probably to a lesser extent Nimoy and
DeForest Kelly wanted to direct one as well, but he saw this one and he says, "Fuck that."
Yeah, and it's just, this is the I think Alex, you summed it up so well with, like you're saying, it's all the bad things the films before. It is. It's all the things that people are having to rein in, you know, at various points with getting control of this cast of, like, you know, what were B-list TV actors in the 60s, weren't they? Who've just hit a lucky streak. Yeah. That's what they are. And there's no one here to say to them no, is there? You know, they are in charge of the asylum.
It's even more embarrassing that you say, like, Next Generation was doing well at this point, so you already had a replacement. It's like,
well, in some ways, these old guys have been given a box of toys to go away and play with, because they're actually making the TV show. Like,
yeah.
And
also, it's Ford's fault for being so successful and of having made that deal with Shatner, saying he had to direct one. That's also
true
a problem. But yeah, I mean, it bombed.
And you know what? I think Shatner's good in it, and I think he's funny in it, and I think his character comes through really well in it. And there's some really nice moments in 4. It's just, this is all wrong.
4 understands that, like, Kirk only makes sense of the character if you are kind of laughing at him as well as with him.
Yeah.
And Kirk never got that. And when we get to Generation, you see that again, don't you? He thinks that Kirk is the most noble, you know, the absolute pinnacle of man. But he's not, is he? And Trek's best when it gets that he is, okay, he's an action hero, only going to go and, like, save the day, but he's flawed. But Kirk just can't get that. He's got a flaw, kind of.
And I can take it this is the more sort of cowboy era of Star Trek, because later on in Star Trek in the series, they even refer to this being the cowboy era, where actually captains did what they wanted, which is fine. But what was good about 4 is each crew member had, like, a job to do to fix the problem, and they went about it as their character would. In this one, they're mucking about, like.
Yeah. I mean, what has Sulu got to do in this film? What does Sulu do in this film?
They make him out to be the both pair of prats at the beginning, and then they just completely. Obviously, they're all brainwashed from then on. So you could say, well, there's not much they could have done with that anyway. But
anyway, the only good thing to come out really is that at least they got Nicholas Meyer back to do Star Trek 6, because again, it's the classic. You know, it's famous, isn't it, that the odd ones are crap and the even ones are good. It's weird watching it like this, because you can just see their brains working. It's such a basic, like, it's like a binary way, isn't it? It's like, oh, this works, let's do this. Oh shit, this didn't work, let's do that, over and over and over again for like 30 years. It's absurd. 20 years, sorry, but yeah.
Well, anyway, it's amazing how many second and third and fourth chances they get, these people. Like, well, actually, nowadays, I'm not sure that would happen.
No.
Well, that's the strength of the brand, isn't it? The fact that, like, 5 being terrible, it's still made a bit of money, so you get 6 with a reduced budget, and then that does really well, so then you get 7 with a big budget, that does terribly, so you get first you know, and on and on and on like that. But it's just bizarre, isn't it, that it happened. I mean, the streak breaks eventually, obviously, but that whole, up until I think First Contact, it's true, isn't it, the odd are crap and the even are good, I think. So anyway, that's enough on this. I mean,
the next one though isn't even, and no spoilers.
6 isn't amazing, but I think 6 is a hell of a lot better than this.
6 is it works.
Yeah, it's an interesting film. I think 6 is my favourite Kirk, to be honest. I like Kirk in 6, the way they treat his character in that. But let's not worry about that for now. So where are we going to put 5? Let's have a ranking.
In a fucking bin.
Very low.
Chris, do you want to go first?
So I haven't got a thing up. Hold on. I would say something like something like 50
That's way too high.
59.
It's lower than that.
Yeah, you're right. It's just that I think Flash Gordon's a poxy as well.
Look at the overall list.
Yeah, okay.
Don't focus on individual films.
Okay,
Alex, have you got?
We're talking Crystal Skull sort of area, aren't we? Sure.
I didn't think it was as good as Deep Blue Sea, so like under that.
Yeah.
I think it's low. I think Howard the Duck's a better film.
It's Crystal Skull sort of area, isn't it?
Yeah,
you're right,
it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because like Crystal Skull, it's taken an established world and
Shat on it.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is it above or below Crystal Skull?
Below.
I think below as well.
Because they should have known better.
Yeah, they should have known better, actually.
Yeah.
No, fair enough, they should have known better by this point. Because that was on a roll. We had a
And it
big
was
gap
just pure
between
ego.
Crystal Skull. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they should have known better.
So there we go. 1989's Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Beats Man's Best Friend, though.
Yeah. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? There's 7 films in the world worst. Man's Best Friend, The Colony, Divergent, Transformers, Lost in Space, Scanner Darkly, and The Lawnmower Man. Brilliant.
We've really given the Scanner Darkly real... We've given it a right whipping, haven't we?
It was bad, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there we go. Our 94th film is in the list. Good episode, bad film. Let's just leave it at that.
We went for over an hour on that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big
I think
trek. Deep trek.
That's... we can't help it. That's the problem. Right, let's hop into the past and see what we've got for next week. Hi, past me. Here's future me. And this next week, we're going to watch a film that none of us have seen because we've not done that for a while, I don't think. It's one I've picked. It's 2002's Treasure Planet, which is a Disney animated film, which is kind of famous. Well, not famous, but it is in a way for like being like sort of the death of like old animated Disney. They'd had that resurgence with Pocahontas and stuff. But they are obviously Pixar is a big deal at this point, and so Disney are trying to work out where they fit into this new world of animation. And Treasure Planet, which I've not seen, none of us have seen, I believe.
No.
Is basically a sci-fi retelling of Treasure Planet, strangely enough.
Oh, okay.
So
Treasure Island.
You've got your Jim Hawkins. Treasure Island, yeah. Yes, Treasure Planet. Yeah, no, Treasure Island, thank you. You've got Jim Hawkins and, you've got...
Are the same names?
Yeah.
All right.
What's his name?
Captain something.
Name.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? Oh,
Silver.
Yeah, whatever.
And they're all in it, and it's told in the term, like the rim planets. All these planets exist, sort of detached and linked by these big spaceships that look like boats, basically. So I thought it'd be an interesting one to watch. I don't know much more about it other than that. And as we were just saying off air, but I want to bring up on air, Chris had a problem with animation. We've just found out that actually WALL-E was animation.
That's what he said.
So if you've been listening for a long time, that was confusing.
Yeah.
Because that was the argument for keeping Ghost in the Shell out of the list.
You misunderstood what I said.
Okay.
If you want, I can take you through.
Is WALL-E an animated film? That's all I need to know. Yes or no?
I need
yes
to
or no
look up what
question.
the definition of animation is.
Okay, well, Treasure Island definitely is, and this is going in the list. So Ghost in the Shell's valid. Let's watch a trailer for Treasure Planet. I think it's really interesting.
I felt like they hadn't cast any of the voices at that point.
Yeah,
Because no one spoke.
David Hyde Pierce is in it as a robot dog.
Cool. Okay, I'm in.
That's what piqued my interest, really, to be honest. That's why I was... a film that...
So they don't have to wear spacesuits then?
I don't know, I guess we'll find out. It doesn't look like it. A film that flopped so badly it opened below Santa Claus 2 at cinemas, which I think is incredible.
Well, Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's busting the charts. I'm looking for... Martin Short's in it as well.
Oh, okay.
I like Martin Short.
Yeah. We'll give it a go, won't we?
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. I don't really like Disney. How do you feel about Disney, Alex? You like Disney films?
No, I'm not really a Disney fan, no. Not
I like
really.
Robin Hood, that's about it, really.
No.
What about you, Chris?
I love Disney.
Yeah, I thought so.
I think that, obviously this is the down period.
What's your favourite Disney film, Chris?
Beauty and the Beast.
Really?
Yeah, the music's amazing.
Wow.
Right.
Alex?
Actually, no.
Oh.
Mary Poppins.
Bloody hell. Should we get Colin on the phone and maybe think about giving that place as the third chair?
What's your problem?
Alex, what's your favourite Disney film?
I don't know, like an old. No, yeah, I prefer like Warner Brothers, to be honest. I was more of a Bugs Bunny person
Me too.
than Disney, so. Sorry.
Quite as,
Space Jam.
The problem with Disney is that like
Space
it's all
Jam.
like very it's all very twee. With those
Very
like
Aryan.
yeah, those like Nazi undertones. Yeah, yeah. Robin Hood's the best. Anyway,
That was good though. That was an old one though, wasn't it?
yeah. Oh, that's old.
Oh, there's a new Dumbo coming out, isn't it?
Live action. Yeah.
Tim what's it?
Burton. Ugh.
Actually, I didn't mind that live action Jungle Book. That was all right.
Oh, I didn't see that. I heard the effects.
I
were
don't
good.
like these live action remakes.
You like animation, even though apparently it's not been a real art form. Bloody hell! What's gone on? Chris is an enigma wrapped in a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
It's true.
I've got very specific rules.
It's true.
You need to write them down, they make no sense. So, anyway, that's next week's film. I'm sure we'll be getting into the definition of animation further then. But for now, I'll hand you back to Past Future Us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're back. Thanks, guys. And we really don't know what the trailer is at this point. We're proper, like, dipping into the future there, aren't we? Because no idea. It's all been...
That's miles
Getting
off.
married, so it's all going
Yeah, it's
tits
weeks
up.
away.
Oh, spoilers. Yeah, I've ruined it all with the honeymoon.
Yeah,
but,
you have.
Yeah, so we're about 8 episodes ahead. But never mind. Alex, would you like to tell the good folk at home where they can get in touch with us, please?
Indeed. Our website is www.sciencefictionratingsystem.com. It's Twitter at SF Rating System, Instagram Science Fiction Rating System, Facebook SF Rating System, and email us at sciencefictionratingsystem@gmail.com and suggest a film maybe for next week.
And we have a film suggested.
Oh,
so
have we?
Just before we go, I've got a little bit of correspondence. It's from long-time listener Colin, who you may know from earlier correspondence. So this is one later in the year, but I'll read it out now. So he says, "Hi guys." Say hi,
Right.
Colin.
Hi, Colin.
Hi, Colin.
Nice to hear from you again.
I had an idea for a show you could do, and I know you guys wouldn't let a fan down. Twice anyway, because we did let him down before. Anyway, in September we will get Shane Black's Predator.
Ooh.
Regardless with how it looks, which is awful by the way. I don't think we can deny how that was him, not me this time.
I thought
that
it
was
was
me
you.
editorialising. No, that was actually
How do
Colin.
we know
yeah.
when it's you annotating? And
I'll say Sam says before.
Yeah.
This is all Colin otherwise. I don't think we can deny how amazing the first film was. We'll have to wait for the rating, won't we?
Oh, yeah.
So I thought it would be interesting if you guys could watch the 2 remaining Predator films in a single episode. Predator and Predators. Now, usually...
Predator.
no,
and
Predators with a no, you know, with Adrian Brody, Predators.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
says-
what was the other one?
Predator.
Oh,
Original.
the original. Right.
So he says, now, usually watching the first and third film in a series back to back would be silly, but in this case, it would be perfect as Predators tries to emulate Predator and can be argued is more of a sequel than Predator 2. It would be interesting to hear you guys discuss the difference in similarities between the two and why possibly one works better than the other. The only thing I say against that is that I think Predator deserves a whole episode for
Me
itself.
too.
It's a great film.
Me too.
But,
Me
so what I
too.
say is we should do Predator one week, Predators the next.
That's fine with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
Predator gets its own show. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, good idea. And this is his birthday at the end of August, so if we can time it for that,
okay.
that'd be great.
We'll
So
try then.
We'll try, Colin. Thanks for getting in touch. If you'd like to be a featured player like Colin there, who did say about coming on the episode, and I said, well, no, sorry, you've got the worst opinions of all time. Colin thinks that Predators is better than Predator 2.
Oh, yeah, it's never coming on.
So,
No,
yeah.
that's not true. But Predators is good though. But anyway.
Well, it's not, but anyway, we'll get to that.
Predators is what?
So, fantastic. That's all. And
Chris is really confused.
Are we talking about the same film?
Why are you just
No.
saying Predator with an S?
Predators with Adrian Brody. Have you not seen
Yes,
that?
I know, but he just said it was good.
Yeah, I like
Alex did.
Predators. Yeah.
No, it's terrible.
Well, I like it. Anyway, regardless.
Well, we'll get to that. Cool. Right, that's the end. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.